Well, first of all, you know, what we kind of got the impression from the book that No Sex in the City, that it's about purity. And how did you come up with the idea for the book?
I was actually writing a different book when I first started writing it. I wanted to interview Christian couples and show how God brought them together and how he can do it so many different ways. But then I was like, why don't I tell my story? I've been a virgin for a long time now. Something's worked, and what can I share with people? So I kind of came up with the title and then just went from there.
Now, did you, when you were growing up, were your parents like really strict and you kind of always knew from the beginning that like, oh, you're not supposed to have sex until you're married?
I knew the Bible said don't have sex. I got saved when I was 3 and it was a very real decision for me. So I never really wanted to do something that God said not to do, and it was very clear, don't have sex. I kind of thought sex was bad, so I just kept it at that. And then when I got into college, I heard a speaker and he was talking about sex in the Bible, and I had no idea the Bible actually talked about sex. So I got my mind going, and it's been going ever since.
And speaking of the mind going, now one of the things that I thought was really refreshing about your book, and we're going to get, might be a little controversial here as we're treading territory on top 3, but you know, we've had a few episodes where we talked about dating and purity, and you know, a lot of times I think it's easier when you grow up in the Christian home, you're kind of insulated in the church, and you know, a lot of people around you are doing
your first couple of decades on
you know, and it's a lot easier to, you know, kind of sign that contract. But I mean, you actually explore the temptations. Like one of your chapters is actually girls aren't supposed to be horny, are they? Wow, that's like a really provocative title. Like what is that about?
So when I speak on my you might have to guess, but when I speak on my tour, I start off by saying I'm 30, I'm a virgin, and I'm so horny I can hardly handle it sometimes, and people don't really know what to do with that. And
awkward.
It's because it's something we were never taught. We always knew growing up, boys are going to have these urges and they're going to be horny, but girls were just taught, oh, be modest and be pure. And I was never informed that I too would have these feelings and desires, and all of a sudden I can't go out in public without all of a sudden having these thoughts, and it's a real thing. And so I wanted to just be real, because I know it's something we face every single day, but it's not something the church talks about. So
okay, so we obviously, you know, as humans, we can get some maybe lustful thoughts. So how do you deal with that now? Like, since you said, I don't know what to do with it.
So
did you ever get any thoughts like that before you got married?
Probably not.
Maybe not. This is Confessions of Lindsey.
I love how vague she is. I know that certain person. Midge.
I never
have a friend.
I walk in purity every moment of every day. I don't ever think about girls ever.
I have a friend.
Never bothers me.
Her name is Marisa. You struggled with that.
I cope with flowered shirts and kidding. It doesn't make any sense.
So yeah, I mean, how do you deal with those temptations?
One, I'm honest with myself. I'm honest about I'm honest about what actually tempts me, and I say, okay, if I went this far with that thought in this situation, let's just back up, because my philosophy is don't flirt with temptation, flee temptation, like the Bible says. And so many of us are so used to, no, I can handle it, I can handle it. Well, temptation isn't supposed to be something we're supposed to handle. It's supposed to be something we completely avoid altogether. And so that's been my philosophy. So figuring out what tempts me and what the heck I can do to stay away from that altogether. Definitely. So it might seem extreme at sometimes, but like in the book I talk about, I was at this worship service and totally into it, and all of a sudden I was lusting after the guitar player. I ran out of the building. Sometimes, just like Joseph, you just gotta run away, but you gotta figure out what can I do in other situations where running out of the building is not an option. Accountability partners, mentors. I don't listen to music that makes me think of those things. I don't watch movies. I have to fast forward a lot of movies. I rarely watch rated R movies. You know, just a lot of these different things. If you're gonna have someone over your house, always have the door open. Don't stay out too late. I mean, group dating, all these things that we've heard and we're like, yeah, whatever. That's not an issue for me.